In every draft, there are always guys flying under the radar, always guys ready to come into the league and make an immediate impact. Steve, when you think about the class of 2018, who are some of the guys that you think are flying under the radar that can come in and make an impact immediately in the NBA?
Well, kind of at the top of the draft, we're kind of enamored with a couple of names, but I think there's one that keeps looking like he's floating, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr., kid from Michigan State. Chris Bosh light. There's so many things you like about Jaren Jackson, has star potential, but we're not talking about him in that same first-tier group, and I think that puts him a little bit under the radar.
One guy I want to ask you about specifically, Steve, a guy that I've heard a lot about is Kevin Knox. What's your take on him? Where do you see him falling?
There was this comparison made recently of Sean Marion, and I don't think that's a good fit at all. But the thing about Kevin Knox is incredibly skilled. I think if you're looking at his body of work at Kentucky, you're not seeing who he really is as a player. And when I've talked to teams around the league, there's a real sense that he could be somebody that could go as high as 6, somewhere as low as 12. So in that next 5, 6 picks, great shooter all the way out, incredible feel for the game. Not going to blow you away. He's not a lion ready to burst out, but over time, I think Kevin Knox could be one of the really good players in this draft. I think his skill set says he could be really good.
All right. Now, I know there are few people in the country that kind of follow the draft as much as you do, so we could sit here and do this all day. Give me 2 more names of 2 more guys that you think can kind of come in, maybe as a late teen pick, but still have an impact, a la maybe a Donovan Mitchell.
Well, I'm going to go a little lower in that. I'll get you outside the teens. I mean, I love Aaron Holiday, and I think that he's probably going to be a guy that goes in the teens. Heard maybe he's got a commitment already. So, Aaron Holiday is one of those guys. But a little further down the draft is Melvin Frazier, kid from Tulane. Incredibly long, super athletic. Doesn't shoot the ball very well. He'll be the first one to tell you he doesn't shoot the ball very well.
He actually did admit that.
He did. But the other thing is kid's on a pogo stick. He was doing the max vert at the combine and just literally jumped through the gym to the point that everyone in the gym turned around and looked. He's that explosive. Maybe late first round, slides into that early part of the second round, but he's an uber athlete, and I think he's going to be a pretty interesting prospect.
Funny thing about Frazier, I'll just tell you before we get out of here, he actually told me that the vertical jump was not the best that he ever did. He says about 3 inches shorter than the best that he ever recorded.
Yeah, another one to keep an eye on is Ray Spalding, kid out of Louisville. Think LaMarcus Aldridge light. I mean, he's not a 38-a-game scorer. That's not who Ray Spalding is. But a really interesting face-up big man. His game film doesn't show you a whole lot. I think he was really misused at Louisville. When you start to see him out in this environment, you start to talk to some teams. I had a chance to be in the gym with him a little bit. He's a very different player than what he looked at Louisville, and I think he could surprise. If there's one guy in this process that could jump way up, like bottom of the first, bit early part of the second, might be Ray Spalding. We'll see. He's got a lot of work to do. His game film isn't very flattering, but I think his game in the NBA could be.
All right. Well, we're counting down the days until the 2018 draft, so we'll see how it goes.